Thank you, everybody, and welcome to the regular monthly meeting of the Mayor and Council, Monday, July 13th, 2026, being held at 6:31 p.m. Missy, could you please call the roll?
Mayor Nunziato.
Here.
Council President McGowan.
Present.
Councilman Coakley.
Here.
Councilman Errico.
Here.
Councilman Guzman.
Here.
Councilwoman Delroy Cohn.
Here.
Councilman Mazzone.
Here.
Thank you. If you're willing and able, please stand for the salute to the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Missy, could you please read the provisions?
In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Law, Chapter 231, Public Laws 1975, notice of this meeting was transmitted to the Record and Herald News and filed with the Borough Clerk on November 21, 2025, and is posted on the bulletin board outside of Borough Hall.
Thank you. We have no presentations or proclamations this evening. I'd ask Brian to give the engineer's report.
Thank you, Mayor. The capital projects are proceeding. Diamond 3 multipurpose field is on schedule, and our first payment voucher did not present any change orders. And that's usually where we encounter change orders for subsurface conditions, and so far so good. Fence posts are up, and the turf has been selected by the borough to make it the multipurpose field. Great input so far during the design and construction process, and we hope to see it out to the end of August and have a live field. So that's what we're working towards. Included in that is to refresh Leisure Lane, and we are working on getting pricing for that and making that happen this summer as well. We are in the process of doing the Jake's Law at Tamblin. Surveys come back, and the preliminary assessment report that the NJDP requires. We had to remove the old fuel tank. That's done. That area has been deemed clean, so we're proceeding with that work and that design work. The road program is in its robustness right now. We just finished Donaldson here on the corner, and we're going back to Fairview tomorrow. We coordinated with the camp, the rec camp. I got some good input, so we know to keep Mortimer free for drop-off. And great coordination with the tree commission, shade tree commission, in terms of planting trees, working around trees that we can keep, and trees that need to come down. We've done that very sparingly in this road program, and so far so good. And the borough's made the determination that along the high school, we're going to put a series of tree pits, where right now it's kind of the deteriorated asphalt along the high school. So that'll give the opportunity for a series of trees that are underwire trees, a little shorter than usual. It's usually like a flowering tree that they usually the Shade Tree Commission or Craig picks out. So that's happening this week as well. And then we're into the design of the 2026 road program. Streets have been selected, and we're moving that forward into design as well. So those are the capital projects. I also see that we have the amendment to the Ames Avenue Affordable Housing Overlay Zone. Just as a preview of that for council action, that is the springboard part of our Fair Share Housing Obligation Round 4. It's a negotiated overlay zone, which paves the way for affordable housing next to the KIPP Avenue affordable and supportive housing. So it makes a nice cohesive construction there, and that enables that to happen. If you had any questions about that, let me know. And basically there was a lot that was not included. It is now included. That makes that a cohesive parcel. So other than that, that is the top line of the engineering activities and some of the planning activities.
Thank you, Brian. Anybody have any questions? Councilman.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Brian, can you update the council and the public regarding the status of the traffic light at Jackson and Erie?
Thanks for the reminder.
Thank you.
So the county, the first iteration was the county wanted to know can we remove the sightline challenge when you come from East Rutherford into Rutherford? And we gave them an exhibit, and it showed that you could, just have to elevate by the car wash a little bit and shave down as you come down over the old railroad track bed. They agreed to that. They came back and they say would like to have some more infrastructure underground. The borough authorized us to do that work. We did that work. It's been submitted. Bergen County has it. And I've done the initial layout plan that makes the traffic signal integrated with the proposed walking trail. So it's seamless to the walking trail. It has the benefit of the traffic light and the pedestrian heads. The pedestrian heads will be remote activated. It'll sense, I'm designing to a mom with a double stroller. So as she rolls up with the double stroller, the light and that crosswalk that is the trail is already green for her or him. And so that's my design criteria. And then it ties in the neighborhood all around. We are also looking at potentially closing the north end of Vandenberg, so that gives me a better throat for the traffic signal, and it reduces potential traffic or cut through for that leg of Vandenberg, what I believe is a minimal inconvenience to the 3 or 5 houses on Vandenberg, and they get like the benefit almost like of living on a cul-de-sac, but it will also allow for emergency access. So those are the things that we're balancing in design, and we look forward to putting that before the county and having that design discussion and getting it out to bid as soon as I can.
Thank you. Anybody else? Seeing none, thank you, Brian, for your report.
Okay, no problem.
We're going to move on to the changes. Missy?
Yes, we'll be adding under the consent agenda, item F, Resolution 154, the renewal of a distribution liquor license for Claire's Food Market. Also under consent resolutions, we'll be adding an item G, resolution number 155, a second bill list. And lastly, we will be adding a closed session for personal matter as item 15 at the end of the agenda, and making the adjournment item 16. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Anybody else from the council have anything to add? Seeing none, I'd ask for council consent.
Motion?
I have a motion by the council president. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Guzman. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, may I have a roll call, please?
Council President McGowan?
Yes.
Councilman Coakley?
Yes.
Councilman Erico?
Yes.
Councilman Guzman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Del Ricon?
Yes.
Councilman Mazzone?
Yes.
Thank you. I have ordinances on first read. Councilman Guzman.
Thank you very much, Mayor. First up, I have ordinance to repeal handicap space, Chestnut Street, repeal 15-minute space, Donaldson Avenue, and establish a handicap space on Grand Avenue and Wood Street. Missy, would you please read the ordinance by title only?
I'm sorry, you're doing the Chestnut Street one?
Oh, my apologies. I thought there were one. Okay. Yes.
Okay. An ordinance to amend and revise Chapter 126, Vehicles and Traffic of the Borough Code of the Borough of Rutherford to repeal a handicap parking space on Chestnut Street.
I have a motion by Councilman Guzman. May I have a second, please?
Second.
Second by Councilman Del Ricon. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, may I have a roll call, please?
Council President McGowan?
Yes.
Councilman Coakley?
Yes.
Councilman Erico?
Yes.
Councilman Guzman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Del Ricon?
Yes.
Councilman Mazzone?
Yes.
Thank you. Councilman?
Right. Next, I have ordinance on first read, repeal 15-minute space, Donaldson Avenue. Missy, would you please read the ordinance by title only?
An ordinance to amend and revise Chapter 126, Vehicle and Traffic of the Borough Code of the Borough of Rutherford to repeal a 15-minute parking space on Donaldson Avenue.
I have a motion to repeal. May I have a second, please? I'm sorry.
Second.
I'd ask for... You make a motion.
Okay, sorry, I didn't hear it. Dennis
Yeah,
Mazzone?
I'm sorry, my bad, you're right.
I didn't make a motion yet. Motion to move that the ordinance be passed on first reading and advertised to law, according to law, excuse me.
Thank you, Councilman. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Maison. I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself. Bob, I didn't know if you wanted to explain that one?
Sure. Thank you, Mayor. The 15-minute spot on Donaldson that we're referring to was created when we started construction on the police department new headquarters. Because the parking lot was lost, there was no drop-off zone primarily for the food pantry items. So we created the 15-minute spot right there on Donaldson, so there would be a quick in and out for that purpose. Obviously, the construction's been completed now for some time. The parking lot is fully open and accessible to anyone and everyone. So there's no longer a need for that 15-minute space. So we're creating a full regular space for visitors to Borough Hall or to residents or neighbors. That's it.
Thank you. Any other questions from the council? I'd ask for a motion, please. I'd ask for a vote.
Council President McGowan?
Yes.
Councilman Coakley?
Yes.
Councilman Erico?
Yes.
Councilman Guzman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Deborah Cohen?
Yes.
Councilman Mazzone?
Yes.
Thank you.
Next up, I have ordinance on first read, establish handicap spaces, Grand Avenue and Wood Street. Missy, would you please read the ordinance by title only?
An orders to amend and revise Chapter 126, Vehicles and Traffic of the Borough Code of the Borough of Rutherford to establish a handicap parking space on Grand Ave and Wood.
Motion that the ordinance be passed on first reading and advertised according to law.
I have a motion by Councilman Guzman. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Deborah Cohen. Any questions or comments? Seeing none? Miss?
Council President McGowan?
Yes.
Councilman Coakley?
Yes.
Councilman Erico?
Yes.
Councilman Guzman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Deborah Cohen?
Yes.
Councilman Mazzone?
Yes.
Thank you. Council President?
Thank you, Mayor. Next, under first reading, would be the amending of the Ames Avenue Affordable Housing Overlay. Missy, can you please read the ordinance by title only?
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 131 of the Borough Code of the Borough of Rutherford to create a B1 Affordable Overlay Zone and amend Chapter 50-11.
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion to move that the ordinance be passed on first reading and advertised according to law.
I have a motion by the Council President. May I have a second, please?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Deborah Cohen. Any questions or comments? Seeing none? Missy, may I have a roll call?
Council President McGowan?
Yes.
Councilman Coakley?
Yes.
Councilman Erico?
Yes.
Councilman Guzman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Deborah Cohen?
Yes.
Councilman Mazzone?
Yes.
Thank you. Councilman Guzman, second read.
Thank you very much, Mayor. I have a ordinance on second read to repeal a handicap space, Montrose Avenue. Missy, would you please read the ordinance by title only?
An ordinance to amend and revise Chapter 126, Vehicles and Traffic of the Borough Code of the Borough of Rutherford to repeal a handicap parking space on Montrose Avenue.
Motion that the ordinance be passed on second reading and advertised according to law.
I have a motion by Councilman Guzman. May I have a second, please?
Second.
A second by the Council President. At this time, I'll now open it up to the public for any comment on this subject and this subject matter only. Seeing none? Now open up for the council comment. Seeing none, may I have a roll call, please?
Council President McGowan?
Yes.
Councilman Coakley?
Yes.
Councilman Erico?
Yes.
Councilman Guzman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Deborah Cohen?
Yes.
Councilman Mazzone?
Yes.
Thank you. Councilman Mazzone?
Thank you, Mayor. I have an ordinance on second reading tonight to amend the mobile truck food ordinance. Missy, if you could please read the ordinance by title only.
An ordinance of the Borough of Rutherford, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey relating to mobile retail food vendors within the Borough of Rutherford, establishing licensing requirements, operational standards, and penalties for violations thereof.
Thank you. I make a motion to move that ordinance be passed on second reading and advertised according to law.
Thank you. I have a motion by Councilman Mazzone. May I have a second, please?
Second.
Second by Councilman Guzman. I'll now open it to the public for any comments on this subject and this subject matter only.
Hi, David Labruno, 423 Stuyvesant. Question about this. I see in here that it says that everyone has to have proof of $1 million insurance. And I was wondering about the effect of this on some of the people that present at the local festivals and things like that, such as RJF, Fire Department. Seems like, I don't know what they have now, but seems like pretty impactful if that was the case. And then I was wondering how this compares to insurance requirements that we may have for non-mobile trucks, such as restaurants, for incidents of food problems. Because if it's way out of whack, then and we don't make any requirement for that, I'm wondering why there's such a difference. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? I'm going to close it to the public and now open up for any council comment. Anyone from the council? Seeing none? Missy?
Yeah, if
I'm
I
sorry.
could, no, it's okay, thank you, Mayor. I was just waiting for my colleagues if they had any questions. So, Mr. LeBruno, I appreciate the questions that you raised around this. What this ordinance does currently, as it stands, the only mobile food trucks that the borough has are ice cream trucks, and then there's one other food truck. This ordinance would not impact groups like RJF. Anyone that is in the borough who is selling food to the public, not to a closed event, does need to obtain a temporary food handler's license in order to do that. But this is to regulate food trucks for the entire season, if you will, for the borough. What it does is it also defines an area in the borough where sales can transpire, so it doesn't impact our brick and mortar building. And again, the insurance requirement was something that was done. I would have to defer to the borough administrator and the attorney as to that threshold. But again, it won't have an impact on those other smaller groups, as well as food trucks doing private events.
Thank you, Councilman. Anybody else from the council? Seeing none, I'll ask for a motion. I'm sorry, I'll ask for a roll call.
Council President McGowan?
Yes.
Councilman Coakley?
Yes.
Councilman Erico?
Yes.
Councilman Guzman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Delbert Cohen?
Yes.
Councilman Mazzone?
Yes.
Thank you. Council President.
Thank you, Mayor. Under second reading this evening, the salary ordinance for police captain, deputy police chief, and chief. Missy, can you please read the ordinance by title only?
An ordinance to amend and supplement an ordinance entitled Ordinance Regulating the Employment, Tenure, and Discharge of Certain Officers and Employees of the Borough of Rutherford under the provisions of the Civil Service Act of New Jersey, number 3598-22, adopted on February 14th, 2022.
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion to move that the ordinance be passed on second reading and advertised according to law.
I have a motion by the Council President. May I have a second, please?
Second.
Second by Councilman Guzman. Now we're going to open this up to the public for any comment.
Hi, David Lebrino, 423 Stuyvesant. I just had a question about the impact of this resolution, or maybe two questions. First was when last we adjusted the salaries that are on here, and then second would be, since it's going into effect now and then further on the agenda here, you have that the chief is retiring, and so I believe we'll actually probably have to pay out some amount of money for all the time that he's accrued over the years, and I'm wondering about the effect of this ordinance on that calculation that will occur. If you have some idea of the impact onto this annual budget, that'd be interesting.
Anybody else from the public wishing to speak? I'm now going to close it to the public, open up for council comment. Bob, do you want to address anything?
Thank you, Mayor. The terminal leave payments that Mr. LeBron, you're asking about, and this ordinance with regards to Chief Russo, this ordinance will have zero impact on that calculation. Chief Russo has an existing employment contract, and his compensation is already locked in, separate from this ordinance. So this will not impact it at all.
Thank you, Bob. Anybody else from the council wishing to speak to this? Well, now, Missy, could you please read the roll?
Council President McGowan?
Yes.
Councilman Coakley?
Yes.
Councilman Erico?
Yes.
Councilman Guzman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Delbert Cohen?
Yes.
Councilman Mazzone?
Yes.
Thank you. Now we're going to move on to resolutions separate for consent, Council President.
Thank you. We have resolution number 150, authorizing the employment contract for Deputy Police Chief Sean Farrell. Motion.
I have a motion by the Council President. May I have a second, please?
Second.
Second by Councilman Guzman. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, Mayor, roll call, please.
Council President McGowan?
Yes.
Councilman Coakley?
Yes.
Councilman Erico?
Yes.
Councilman Guzman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Deborah Cohen?
Yes.
Councilman Mazzone?
Yes.
Thank you. Now opening up the floor to the hearing of citizens. Anybody from the public wishing to speak, please step forward to the microphone. Keep your comments to 5 minutes or less, please. Hi, Wendy.
Wendy Armacost, 129 Maple Street. I'm just here as private citizen and also a member of the Green Team in town. Since I was here at our last meeting, I know that some progress has been made on the new ordinance for the tree regulation in town. I just want to encourage council to make sure that this does go forward and keeps moving through, and that this ordinance has some actual teeth. We have some great lighting ordinances in town, and yet we have way too many bright lights in town. I encourage you to make sure that this is, Shade Tree has reviewed it, that Green Team gets a chance to review it, that the Planning Board gets a chance to review it, and to make sure that this actually preserves some trees in this town. Unfortunately, we lost an enormous tree on the property that the synagogue was. I have a neighbor down the street who thankfully looks like they're not taking down a tree now, but I think everybody in this town has a neighbor who can talk about, oh yes, somebody took down a tree close to me and now I flood, or now my house is 1,000 degrees because I get no more shade. So I just encourage council to please make sure that this moves forward quickly. Thank you.
Thank you, Wendy. Anybody else from the public wishing to speak?
Francis McCarthy, 364 Orient Way. I just have a question about what our current affordable housing requirements are. And then, is it only that we're going to get 20% in this new construction that's going to go up on Ames? Or would we be getting more than that? That's it.
Yeah, we don't do dialogue until the end. We'll
Oh,
respond to
okay.
you.
Gotcha.
Thank you. Anybody else from the public wishing to speak?
Pete Sherrill, 86 Hobart. I know all you guys know that I'm crazy about safety. I went to more classes about that than most of you guys here. I was talking about the engineering. I'm a big advocate about Jackson and Erie. I've been fighting this for the last 3-4 years. Mr. Mayor, you signed off on this a couple years ago. I want to know why we had to pay Brian another $5 grand last month to survey it when we did this 4 years ago, 3 years ago. Now East Rutherford and the county's telling us we're responsible. Why don't the county pay for this? Since they the ones dragged their feet on this for the last 3 years. I don't understand why we're flipping the bill for that. Number two, Kid Spot. We're always, like I said, I'm an advocate for safety. A lot of the rides that the kids slide down, the rubber is gone. I think we should look into this about getting the rubber fixed so the kids could play safe. And Delray Cohn and I have been fighting over Diamond 5 and 6 for the last year or so. Not discussing it. Another thing, I talked to Councilman Coakley about this about a year ago. There's a soccer team that comes down at Tryon Field every Sunday morning at 7 o'clock. They got a permit from the town. I already spoke to Pat. He gave them a permit for 7 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. I love sports, but I think 7 o'clock in the morning on Sunday is a little bit early. There's a resident across the street that put a sign up, quiet out. I think we should back that up to 8 o'clock. They do have a permit. I spoke to Pat about it, and nothing's been done for over a year. One other thing, the tax. Have we ever signed off that we're going to get our tax reevaluation of the town? Did we sign a contract with somebody? Because there was a house for sale on West Passaic, 5,000 square foot house, that's 3 times the size of mine, and they're paying $2,000 more than me. There's something wrong here. And that's why I want to have us all reevaluate, we all go on the same page. Thank you.
Thank you, Pete.
Just a few questions. On the consent agenda, maybe this will
You have to do the name thing again.
be my name again? Sure, David Labruno, 423 Stuyvesant. On the consent agenda, there's authorization for acceptance on G. G says ordinance 61. Just wondering what exactly that ordinance is, just for the public, because I guess we don't get an opportunity to go in and look up all this information or speak with our clerk. And then also, could you just explain what this access story program is? Of course, you guys can broadcast to the public what that is.
So can you just repeat that last statement? I couldn't
The
understand.
next authorization, access story program, maybe you could just tell us what that's all about. And then thirdly, about the ordinance that was introduced on first reading about the Ames Avenue Affordable Housing Overlay Zone. I might have missed it when the engineer was saying, does that just covers the property where the funeral home is now? Or does it cover something else? And then secondly, on there, describing this overlay zone, now we're saying that this will meet this zoning and this affordable information that's on here, which talks about a minimum required off-street parking of 1.25. Is that going to be our new standard in the town? And then secondly, it also talks about some setbacks that are required in the front yard. One-story lobby, 15 feet. I was just wondering how that relates to further down on Chestnut. Of course, people look on the interwebs and see a lot of commentary about how close that building is to the corner and such a dangerous situation that it's caused. Just wondering the impact on this, and hopefully we take that into consideration on future projects, because we don't want those buildings very close to the street. It makes it very difficult to see around them. And I see on the internet it's caused several accidents already. And then lastly, the engineer said this overlay housing, 20% of 30, whatever that gives you, 6 housing units. He said that was to meet the new requirements. I guess it's a third or fourth rendition from the court about how many affordable housing units we have. But if I recall correctly, a previous meeting, I believe it was earlier this year, we created this overlay zones. Slip of the tongue. We created these and we added projects for the building across the street, the former health department. And then we also added the Columns property on, that is Orient, right? We put an overlay zone there. And the numbers for that, I thought equaled, we said, our requirement that we had to meet by the state for this year under this new round 4. So it's a little discrepancy about what the engineer said, and I was hoping you could address that, because as I understood it, we had a requirement for 40. We met that requirement with the overlay zone, and now we have adding another property to an overlay zone. So just wondering, I know we passed an ordinance previously allowing all this over there, but I believe you may have misspoke. So thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else from the public wishing to speak? Seeing none, I'm going to close it to the public and open it up for any council comment. Councilman?
Thank you, Mayor. I think if you wouldn't mind, Borough Administrator, maybe you can answer Ms. McCarthy's questions, some of Mr. Sharrow's questions, some of Mr. Labruno's questions, and then I'll chime in if you, and I have them written down, but I think you're the best, do you mind?
No, not at all.
Okay.
You might need to remind me of
I
a few of
will.
the questions, so I'll do the best I can and just, let me deal with the affordable housing. So the ordinance is on the agenda tonight. Let me just explain or clear up. was already adopted by the governing body and by the planning board a couple months ago as part of our fourth round fair share housing element that was submitted to the courts. The only change that's occurring tonight is adding lot 9.01 to the ordinance. It was omitted in the original version of that ordinance. And basically, it does encompass the entire property owned by the funeral home. So and that's the only change. The project is being proposed for 20% affordable. I believe it's like 30 units. So that is the most affordable. So 6 units at most to be the affordable for that project when it's built. We're not changing any of the setbacks that were previously approved. So what was in this ordinance was previously approved a few months ago. What else am I dealing with?
Why we paid.
Oh, so with regards to Jackson and Erie, when Rutherford requested that we put a traffic light down there with the county, part of the agreement that we entered into with Bergen counties, they would pay for it, the actual installation of the purchase of the traffic light and installation of it, which would probably be closer to $350,000, $400,000. The borough had to take on the responsibility of preparing the design engineering of it. So that's why, any cost you see to Neglia related to that is, it's part of the agreement. We are required to pay for the engineering aspect of it. Mr. Labruno, you did ask about the referral of that ordinance. It's the Ames Avenue overlay zone. It's just referring it to the planning board so they can review it for master plan consistency. They've reviewed it once already. It's just we're adding, like I said, add in lot 9.01 to it. It's just the process. They'll review it and then send it back to the mayor and council before second read for adoption, hopefully. Kid Spot, we have applied for grant funding to redo the whole soft surface there, so we are working on that. 5 and 6, I believe, is the issue home plate. That has been a thorn in my side, and Mr. Nindadola and I have had numerous conversations with that. It's the same vendor who's working on Diamond 3 right now. I was told he had him out there and fixed it, but if you're telling me it hasn't been fixed, we will address that. So 7 a.m. I'm gonna have to talk to Mr. Bonner about that permit. That sounds kind of early to me too. Oh, so the tax reval. So unfortunately, there's only a few companies statewide that can do the reval, and there's only one of those companies that are doing work here in the North Jersey portion of the state, and that company is overwhelmed with the number of revals they're doing here in Bergen, Hudson, Essex. So they're probably not going to be able to get to us till 2028. So that's kind of the timeline we're on. Even if we enter into a contract today, they're not getting to us to 2028. So the county tax administrator is aware of that. Our assessor has spoken to him. He knows the challenges with us, and quite honestly, a few other towns that were ordered at the same time that we were facing the same problem. The reval company certainly doesn't have the bandwidth to handle everything they're doing here in North Jersey. So 2028 is probably a more realistic chance of this happening. The access story. So access, and Chief, correct me if I say anything wrong here. So access is the vendor who provides the body cameras that our police personnel wear. And there's a whole system that the police department has that's tied into the cameras. And our department has been users of the system, successfully using it. And the company wants to share our story with the rest of the country and maybe the world, how we use it, how it's benefited law enforcement, how it's helped them do their jobs. This is just another example of how, Chief Russo is leaving us shortly, but he is taking our department to the next level, that we are being recognized nationwide for, the things he has done for us and has put Rutherford certainly on the map. And so Access wants to come in, do a quick little, video, talk to police personnel, talk to our IT vendor and how it all works together, and put a little video. It's probably a little sales pitch they're going to use to, get more clients down the road. But our, PD has been using the system very successfully for quite a long time now, and they just want to share that story.
I think that was
I think that's it. Oh, one last thing that I didn't answer last time. Mr. LeBruno, that salary ordinance was last updated February 14, 2022. All right, I think that's it.
Okay.
Anything else?
No, not on my, Chestnut and Union.
Chestnut and Union. So the Chestnut and Union. So understand it's still under construction. Once the scaffolding is removed and the workers are kind of out of the way, that corner is going to be designated a no parking zone. So that will certainly assist with, clearing the sight line. But, I can't move the building right now. So, we're locked into that. But we'll do the best we can, try to, create a better sight vision for people making their turns over there.
I have nothing to add. I was just helping with my list.
You did a good job. Councilman.
Thanks, Mayor. I just want to clarify, I think Bob mentioned this, but Mr. LeBruno brought up a topic, which is that given the setbacks of the building on Chestnut Street and whatever else, is that going to affect other development, or does that have any impact on future development? The zoning ordinance is specific to the zone, so that overlay district, whatever we pass with regards to that, is only for that overlay district. Developers are free to propose whatever they want, if they go to the planning board or the Board of Adjustment to ask for whatever sort of variance or exception to the rules, but just because we passed a different setback requirement in a particular zone doesn't impact any other zone, if that's the question you're asking. And I did want to thank Wendy for coming in again and speaking her mind about the tree ordinance. As you alluded to, Wendy, we have made progress on that, and it's well taken, and I will certainly help in ensuring that that's enforceable as well as actually passed. So thank you.
Councilman?
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, just a quick follow-up on that as well. Ms. Armacost, you've been to several shade tree meetings. The operative word in your speech is teeth, right? The standard one from the state that we were handed down is just complacent at the very best. Like you've read it, you've seen it. It doesn't do anything to kind of help us out with the situation. So Councilwoman Del Rey Cohn has kindly offered to kind of step up and assist me because there's a lot of information to digest in order to put something forth that would garner 4 votes. Again, we need 4 votes to get anything accomplished up here, and that is what matters, right? We are, at the end of the day with this, going to be asking to regulate people's personal property to a certain extent, right? If you take a tree down, you have to replace it, or should have to replace it with X, Y, and Z shrubage and things like foliage and things like that. So thank you for your patience on it. We were asked to kind of table it through the spring because of the budget work and the fair share housing legal operation. So we're kind of sinking our teeth back into it, to use that phrase, and hopefully we'll have this done by the end of the summer. So, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. We're going to move on now. Consent items. Council President.
Thank you, Mayor. All items are authorized to be consent by the council will be enacted by one motion, and these items are routine in nature. Motion.
I have a motion by the Council President. I have a second.
Second.
Second by Councilman Guzman. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, may I have a roll call, please?
Council President McGowan?
Yes, with an abstention on the minutes, which is letters A and B specific to June 22nd, 2026.
Thank you.
Councilman Coakley?
Yes, with the same abstention on minutes A and B.
Councilman Errico?
Yes.
Councilman Guzman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Del Rey Cohn?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazzone?
Yes.
Thank you. We have nothing under new business. I'll move on to council reports. Council President?
Thank you, Mayor. July is Disability Pride Month. So as we recognize Disability Pride Month, we take time to celebrate the strength, resilience, and contributions of people with disabilities in our community and across our nation. Disability Pride Month commemorates the passage of the Americans with Disabilities Act in July of 1990, a landmark civil rights law that affirmed that people with disabilities deserve equal access, equal opportunity, and the full participation in every aspect of their community life. Disability pride is not about viewing disability as something to be overcome or hidden. It is about recognizing disability as a natural part of human diversity and affirming that every person deserves dignity, respect, and the opportunity to thrive. While we celebrate the progress that has been made, we also acknowledge the barriers that still exist. Accessibility is more than the ramps and curb cuts. It includes effective communication, inclusive programs, equitable policies, accessible technology, and a commitment to listening to the lived experiences of people with disabilities. This month, I encourage all of us to increase our awareness, challenge assumptions, and work together to build our community where everyone is welcomed, valued, and empowered to participate fully. By promoting inclusion and accessibility, we strengthen our entire community. Let Disability Pride Month serve as a reminder that equity is an ongoing commitment and that our actions today can help to create a more accessible tomorrow for Rutherford. So thank you for letting me remind and share that with you all. And as always, I thank my colleagues on Access for All for their great work. Mayor, if I may also, I'd like to use this time under consent agenda. We accepted the resignation of Chief John Russo. And I know that he is not here today. And for all of us who know him so well, know that he would never want to be in the room to hear the praise he so rightly deserves. So, Chief, I hope you are watching. Actually, I hope you're not watching. You're on vacation right now, but I hope when you come back, you get a moment to watch and hear these words. As Chief Russo prepares, oh, and by the way, before I read this, and this really is for him, for this entire community, you should know that Chief John Russo was impeccably prepared for every single meeting he and I have had over 12 years. And so, John, I want you to know I actually spent time writing this because I wanted to give you the same respect that you gave me for all that time. As Chief Russo prepares to retire from the Rutherford Police Department, I want to take a time to express my deepest gratitude for his exemplary service, visionary leadership, and unwavering commitment to public safety. Chief Russo's highly decorated career has left an indelible mark, not only on the borough of Rutherford, but across the entire state of New Jersey. Throughout his tenure, Chief has consistently championed the highest standards of law enforcement. His leadership was anchored by elite professional training, including his status as an NJSA COP accredited chief executive and his completion of the prestigious West Point Command and Leadership Program in 2005. Reflecting his standing among the nation's law enforcement elite, Chief Russo graduated from the prestigious FBI National Academy in Quantico, Virginia, demonstrating the character and leadership that defined his career. He was selected by his peers to serve as the session spokesperson, delivering the official commencement speech on behalf of the law enforcement's best of the best. It was during this time that he also conquered the infamous, grueling Yellow Brick Road obstacle course, earning the historic yellow brick that symbolizes the pinnacle of physical and mental endurance. For all of us who have been privileged to know Chief, this should come as absolutely no surprise. Always striving for continuous improvement, the Rutherford Police Department achieved full state law enforcement accreditation that requires operational excellence, accountability, and transparency. To his credit, the Chief has always been quick to point out that this was achieved by the entire department. That's something else I've always admired about John. He believed deeply in investing in the growth of the men and women of his department and allowing their great work to be recognized. So it really wasn't a surprise that Chief Russo's expertise would extend far beyond our borough borders. He earned the profound respect of his peers across the state, serving as the president of the Bergen County Police Chiefs Association in 2020, and later as the 109th president of the New Jersey State Association of Chiefs of Police from 2024 to 2025. During his time on the statewide stage, Chief Russo used his voice to heavily advocate for meaningful legislative changes. His advocacy was instrumental in pushing forward critical public safety bills aimed at reducing organized retail theft and increasing penalties for residential burglaries. Furthermore, his collaborative spirit led to powerful traffic safety partnerships with county prosecutors and the state police to actively protect lives on our roads. I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge that John Russo is indeed more than all the rank and awards I shared. John Russo is a son of Rutherford. He made a choice many, many years ago to care for the community that raised him. He has been more than a chief to many of us. He has been a friend. Selfishly, I will miss our time together, but I trust that you have made sure we will be in good hands. So John, thank you for always being there through it all. For me, it has meant so very much. So Chief, as you move towards your next journey, know that you leave behind an elite accredited department, a safer and grateful community, and a legacy of leadership that will inspire law enforcement professionals for generations to come, perhaps even a few who are in the room today. Congratulations, Chief Russo, on a remarkable and an impactful career. We thank you for your protective watch over Rutherford, and we wish you a long, healthy, and richly deserved retirement. Congratulations, my friend.
Thank you, Council President. Councilman Coakley.
Thank you, Mayor. Council President, of all the words you have ever spoken, those were some of the most wonderful. It's hard to follow on those. I will do my very best, probably say a little bit more closer to his retirement. But Chief Russo, I just want to extend my sincerest thanks for always picking up the phone or answering a text message or an email from the very beginning. 6 years ago when I started on this job, you took me into your office as a young-ish, scared individual starting a job that he had no experience doing whatsoever, and you reassured me that you would be there to help. You've given me some really kind and supportive words when some of my own actions have created some difficult situations for myself, and I cannot tell you how much I've appreciated those coming from a man of your stature. I wish you the best of luck, and I hope you're having the most wonderful time on vacation. I hope I get to see you and shake your hand one last time before you go. Secondly, one of our other consent agenda items this evening was the resignation of firefighter Daniel Noah from the Rutherford Fire Department. Mr. Noah, I want to thank you for your service all of these years, and again, as always, wish you the best of luck in your next chapter. Cannot say enough about the work that you and your team have done as volunteers, again, with the emphasis on volunteers in the Rutherford Fire Department. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Errico.
Thank you, Mayor. I was musing on what to say regarding Chief Russo, and one thing in particular stood out to me, which is maybe an odd statement to say, but most residents of Rutherford have never met Chief Russo and will never meet him. And in one sense, that is a shame because, as we've all discussed, and I'm sure continue to discuss, Chief Russo is fantastic, but in a more important sense, that's really the whole point of the Chief's service. The measure of his job is a place where people feel safe walking home at night without ever thinking about the police, where a call for help is answered by default, and where the department is implicitly trusted by the community it serves. And by that measure, the chief has done a tremendous job. As an elected official in Rutherford, I often think about the impact that individuals can make on institutions, and I come back to a simple premise, which is to make things better. Chief Russo has demonstrably made things better in every sense of that word. And for me, there's nothing more profound than that, which is to leave an institution better than you found it, and particularly in a job where the greatest success is things that never do happen. So having said that, Chief, thank you for your service, thank you for your judgment, thank you for your efforts, thank you for the officers you leave behind who learned the job from you. We wish you the best in your future endeavors and know that you are always welcome here in Rutherford. On another note, I want to thank the DPW, the Rec Department, our Borough Communications Officer, and my fellow council members in particular for the 4th of July celebration that we had a few weeks back. I thought it was really a great event, and thank you for humoring me by allowing me to dress up as a 18th century colonist. I had a lot of fun, so thank you all for that. I also want to thank the DPW for their tremendous work over the past couple weeks in cleaning up after some very severe storms. I know it's really taxed their efforts, particularly on the streets where I frequent, so thank you for that. And as a reminder, not that there needed to be a reminder, but the World Cup final game is coming up this weekend. So for those of us that are out and about on Sunday, I'd just like to encourage everyone to exercise extra caution and vigilance. I'm sure there'll be some elected officials, perhaps in town or near us, that might warrant additional scrutiny. So thanks for that. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Guzman.
Thank you very much, Mayor. My liaison assignments, just a reminder, National Night Out is August 4th at Lincoln Park. More details will be to follow. I have the privilege of sharing a letter I received from Police Chief Russo, and I'd like to read it to all of you. The Rutherford Police Department has been a huge part of my life, and an experience I would not trade for anything. I've spent more than half my life working here for the police department in the town where I grew up. Half of that time has been as your chief of police. I believe my tenure as chief has been a success, and I am turning over a department to Deputy Chief Farrell that is regarded by our peers as one of the finest within the state. That success has been in part due to the trust and the cooperation I have received from the mayors and councils I have the pleasure to work with. For 2 mayors and 21 council members, to be exact. The importance of trust and cooperation cannot be overstated. Through my work on the county and state levels, I have witnessed numerous cities and municipalities where the police department and elected officials are in conflict, and the results are catastrophic for them both, and even worse for the residents they are paid and elected to represent. A thorough succession plan is vital to this profession, and I have worked for several years now with Deputy Chief Farrell to prepare for a seamless transition. Next, I have to acknowledge all of the department heads and borough employees I have worked with over the years. They are truly a special group of people. Special thanks are directed to our Borough Administrator, Bob Kakaleski, and our Borough Clerk, Missy Scanlon. As Chief, I've worked with them both on a daily basis, and there are no employees more dedicated to their job in this borough than Bob and Missy. The borough is lucky to have them both. Finally, I would like to thank the members of the Rutherford Police Department. Their professionalism, dedication, and empathy are beyond reproach. I am proud of them and the department we have built together. We have come a long way, and each and every member deserves the credit for what we have become. Mayor Nunziato and council members, I thank you for the opportunity. I wish you, the Rutherford Police Department, and the Borough of Rutherford all the best, with a sense of accomplishment, gratitude, and some sadness. John Russo, Police Chief. I'd like to also add my comments afterwards, now. Chief Russo, your leadership, under your leadership, you have built one of the most esteemed police forces in the state of New Jersey. Your reputation throughout the state is second to none. You lead your team with respect. You serve the community of Rutherford in the most professional manner, with their safety always being #1 priority. It has been my absolute pleasure being your council liaison for the past 3+ years. I've learned a lot from you that was purely for my benefit, and you have made me a better councilman. Although your departure leaves big shoes to fill, I have great comfort and faith that the Rutherford Police Department will continue to flourish because of the foundation you have built. I wish you all the best on your retirement and next chapter. Please come see us whenever you can. We will miss you, Chief. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Delray Cone.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I'd just like to thank the Rec Department for all the hard work that they put into our baby parade, which, again, just absolutely one of my favorite events in town. Families have been participating for years. I actually spoke to a family that was feeling that they're probably aging out of doing it with their kids, and that was a point of sadness for them. So I just want to make sure everyone understands the Rec Department, on top of starting rec camp the day after, or the day after our fireworks and 4th of July parade, they basically did a full day of events. So I just wanted to acknowledge that. As Councilman Errico said, the fireworks this year were remarkable. The entire event was really so fitting for our 250th anniversary. My council members and I that were able to attend also just had a lot of fun, and that's really a nice thing when we get to have a lot of fun with our community. Now, with regards to Chief Russo's retirement, when I was thinking today about what to say about Chief Russo, I think it's a real strong indicator when you have a chief of police, especially in today's environment where some folks feel tentative about the police, that no matter what resident called me about any issue, if it was about the police department, I had no qualms about telling them to go to talk to Chief Russo. I knew he would handle it professionally. I knew he would handle it with empathy, and that proved itself just over and over and over again. The other great thing that I don't think folks realize about Chief Russo is he will never tell you anything that's not true. And I know that sounds very funny to say, but I say that even if you don't want to hear it. And I recently had a client say to me that clarity is kindness. That when you are telling someone the truth and when you are being clear about what you think, you are being kind to them. And if I judge Chief Russo by that standard, I am hard-pressed to think of any colleague I've worked with in the borough or otherwise that is kinder than Chief Russo. Because when he doesn't agree with us, and that has happened, he is very clear with us about why. He is very open to discussion, but he is not going to tell us what we want to hear. And I think that is a tremendously respectful and kind way to deal with people. So I find him to be just so remarkable in that way. And I will miss that clarity and that kindness, although I'm quite sure Deputy Chief Farrell will bring that to us as he takes the reins. The final thing I want to note is that Chief Russo always showed up, and that doesn't mean showing up as a police chief. He showed up as a leader in the community. He showed up at our menorah lightings that were held at the temple. He shows up, when we did our crescent lightings for our Muslim community, he showed up there. When folks had questions about immigration issues in the country and in the community, and the Civil Rights Commission held an event where they had someone educating residents about that, he showed up and answered questions there. These are not just run-of-the-mill requirements of a chief of police, and I think there are many chiefs that may not have shown up to those invited events. He always showed up. And to the council president's point, he showed up more prepared, with words of wisdom, with information, again, with clarity and kindness, because he was not always answering questions in the way that folks wanted them to be answered, but he was answering questions with real information. He and I have had many conversations about his commitment to this borough, about his commitment to this place that he calls home and has called home for his whole life. And as an employment attorney, I like to remind people that when we meet people out in the world, usually the first question we're asked is what we do, and we answer it. And so I'm always very thoughtful to think about how people bring themselves to their jobs. If John Russo brings himself to the rest of his life with even a fraction of the excellence that he brings himself to this community, then those around him are just the luckiest. So I will miss him very much. I will miss his guidance. I will miss his honesty. I will miss his kindness. But I do hope that whatever the next chapter is, which I don't imagine is going to be all that relaxing, although we don't know what he's doing yet, I'm really, really excited for whoever is the next group of people that get the benefit of being led by John Russo. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Maison.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple items this evening. I too wanted to thank everyone from our borough, starting with our administrator, communications, DPW, police, fire, EMS, for our successful fireworks on the 28th. It was an amazing event. I think that the energy was just fantastic, and you know, just great to see so many community members out and celebrating in our borough. Switching gears, DPW, police certainly all did a tremendous job on the evening of the 3rd. We had that storm come through with that microburst, taking down numerous trees throughout the borough. I just want to recognize our DPW and our police, as well as I'm sure fire and EMS were out that evening. Lots of trees down, and I know DPW worked through the weekend. So I just want to recognize them for those efforts. And then last but not least, to John Russo, congratulations on your well-deserved retirement. I've known John for several years as a colleague and fellow law enforcement officer, and now as a councilman. But I have to say, there's been so much great said about John. I would agree with all of it, his distinguished career. But most importantly, I found that John brought a steady calmness to the job. I think that that calmness helped navigate us, even in the short time that I've been involved with the council, and before, during COVID with Black Lives Matter, No Kings protest. Just the way John came and balanced things, I think was really just, we were really lucky to have John Russo for all these years. And the thing that I would say that I know most about John, and Christy, you said it about, is his kindness. Right after he became chief, I had a dilemma. I had a Boy Scout or Cub Scout troop that needed to go tour a police station. And unfortunately, our police station was not able to be toured for numerous reasons. And so when I talked to Chief Russo, he called Larry over in East Rutherford, and he arranged for us to tour their police department. But John was there because he wanted to represent Rutherford. And I know the boys didn't forget it, and the Scouts were certainly appreciative. So yeah, I think Deputy Chief Farrell, you've got big shoes to fill. You certainly will have the support of Mayor and Council, but it's a loss. It's a loss, and I wish him all the best in whatever he does. Thank you.
Thank you. My words to John Russo, we pretty much came up together. I know you hate this, so you don't even want to hear this. So, you know how I feel about you. We've had some very harrowing experiences together, COVID, all the other events we had to go through, and you were nothing but exemplary in your leadership and guidance. So, to my friend John Russo, all I can say is I wish you the best, and I'm sure that you're sitting there going right now, just shut up and appoint these two kids so I can stop watching this. So you know, I care about you very much, John, and I wish you the best, and you too. I'm going to make my appointments now to Evan Alvarez and Juan Perano. Police officer, conditional offer of employment upon successful completion of pre-employment testing in accordance with the rules and regulations of the New Jersey Civil Service Commission. Based on a recommendation of Police Chief John Russo, I would ask for council consent. May I have a motion, please?
Motion.
I have a motion by Councilman Guzman. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Council President. Any questions or comments? Seeing none. May I have a roll call, please?
Council President McGowan?
Yes.
Councilman Coakley?
Yes.
Councilman Erico?
Yes.
Councilman Guzman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Del Rey Cone?
Yes.
Councilman Mazzone?
Yes.
Welcome to the Rutherford Police Department. Congratulations. Chief, would you like to say a few words?
Was not prepared for this, but sure.
Well, keep it short because you know John likes it that way.
Yeah, first off, congratulations, man. I'm glad you guys got to be here for that because you won't get the opportunity. You'll graduate from the police academy once John's already retired. For me, I worked with John side by side. When I came on, he was a sergeant, and I got to work with him when he was a tour commander, lieutenant. I was his sergeant, and then he got promoted to chief. And I over the past few years, being from captain and deputy chief, I got a front row seat, and I don't think that this town or even our department will ever truly be able to understand exactly the man and the chief that he was. The impact that he had not only in our department, on our community, but the state in general is truly tremendous. He wasn't just great, he's well respected throughout the entire law enforcement community, our elected officials up to the state level, the Attorney General, he's all our federal partners. He's an amazing person, and I wish him nothing but the best. I told him many a times I wish he wasn't retiring because I just got to be along for in the front row seat of true greatness as a great leader and chief and a man. So, John, I'll be talking to you soon, and good luck with everything. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Again, I wish you guys the best. You're sure you're going to make us proud. Thank you very much. And now we have a closed session. No action will be taken at this. Oh, I'm sorry. We do have one more hearing of citizens. Anybody want to speak on agenda items and agenda items only? Seeing none, I'm going to close it to the public. Now we're going to move into a closed session. No action will be taken this evening. I'd ask for council consent.
Motion?
Motion by Council President. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Guzman. Any questions or comments?
I'll read the
Seeing
resolution.
none.
Whereas the Open Public Meetings Act requires a public body adopt a resolution at an open meeting before going to a closed session to discuss a matter which excludes the public as permitted under Section 7B. Now therefore be it resolved that the mayor and council will hold a closed meeting on July 13, 2026 at 7:38 p.m. 176 Park Avenue to discuss the following matter: personnel. Council President McGowan?
Yes.
Councilman Coakley?
Yes.
Councilman Erico?
Yes.
Councilman Guzman?
Yes.
Councilman Del Ricon?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Mayor, I'm going to terminate the live video stream so people at home don't have to wait. So
Yes.
there's no further action being taken, so I will terminate it.
Okay. Thank you.